The spring season of 2021 is approaching its end, and to be honest, it is being one of those seasons where the expectations were low, but then it became surprisingly surprising. I mean, positively positive things. We had a bit of everything. We had young runaway teenagers living with their uncles, we had Konosuba with technology, uncles pursuing their nieces, teenagers playing Gangster Simulator, SAO 2.0, except the main character isn't really stuck in the game and his plot armor is below 0. And we had the 50th season of My Hero Academia. Did I say 50th? I'm sorry, I meant 5th. Oh, and I also forgot we had Shadow's House and Vivi Fluorit's Eye Song. Those anime were totally worth everyone's time. They are amazing, okay? So yeah, this season was filled with a large variety of anime shows for us to enjoy, and even for newcomers, since you can find pretty much all the genres condensed in a single season. Now, with the summer season, there are even more interesting anime coming out, and of course I could not forget some shows that have been blessed with a continuation, like that time I got reincarnated as a slime, the second core of the second season. The first core was personally one of my favorite episodes of the series, as we had so many, and I mean so many badass moments with a lot of exciting fighting scenes, with Rimuru and the rest of his clan, and obviously setting up the plot for the big battle between Rimuru and Clayman. With the arrival of Veldra in the last episode, I think fans are excited for the amazing battles with the crazy power scaling between these charismatic characters, and I am sure this second core will probably deliver it. Speaking of dragons, and speaking of sequels, Kobayashi is back with another season. I mean, I have reported this new season at least 6 times on my weekly anime news videos, and this anime is nothing but a bowl of fun and wholesomeness and round things bouncing around, right? Yeah. If you're looking for a calm and yet funny experience with cute girls doing simple things and have an enjoyable moment, I believe Kobayashi is an appropriate show for you. About the calm moments. You can forget that, you'll definitely find some crazy moments of fighting and whatnot, but it's gonna be really exciting, and also wholesome nonetheless. Next on our list we have... Jesus, there are actually a lot of sequels in this season, aren't there? Well, My Next Life as a Villainess is probably one of the most anticipated anime sequels for fans, but since I did not watch the first season, I won't really talk about it right now. So yeah, I think we're done with sequels. What? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What about Honor Student and Standing on a Million Lives anime shows? Moving on, how a realistic hero rebuilt the kingdom. Looking at this cover, it seems we have yet again another harem in our hands. Oh, never mind, it says harem in the genre description. Kazuya Soma is unexpectedly transported to another world. Oh boy. Isekai. It's incredible, at least once per season we are finding isekai anime. And why do all male characters in isekai look the same? Apparently in this story, the idea of having a protagonist being transported to another world and live his dream is taken with a different approach. Kazuya is a hero that wants to rebuild the kingdom he was transported to, but in a more realistic way. Normally you would fight demons, fight the bad guys in general in order to restore balance in the world of isekai and whatnot, but here he wants it to do differently, because the main character is in a high enough position to reshape the kingdom by using his knowledge that he probably acquired while studying business administration in college in his previous life. No, that part was made up. I don't really know if he studied anything or not. But he plans to reform the whole administrative department. So yeah, he must have some ideas, I would say. But yeah, nothing too interesting here. The Detective is Already Dead is a mystery, comedy, drama, romance type of anime. Okay, this can be an interesting one, especially when you have a lol in the cover. But never mind that. Kimizuka, that is always getting in trouble. One day, he has this fated encounter with this beautiful girl that claims to be a detective. All of a sudden, he becomes his assistant, to solve a mysterious case inside an airplane, as they attempt to track down a criminal organization and save innocent people. But never mind the plot, the characters, I mean, screw that. Just check out this amazing soundtrack. It reminds me of one of the first scenes of the infamous vampire movie series, Blade. You know when vampires had this cool underground party and Blade just came along and smashed them all? Yeah, amazing memories, I have to admit. But anyways, the trailer looked like it came out from an action-filled movie made in Hollywood. And even though we don't know much about it, the trailer did convince me that it will be an exciting action-driven story. I mean, look at these movements. Plus she's a cute one. So yeah, definitely one show I'll be keeping my eyes on. Damn, I actually forgot about this sequel. I mean, how could I even skip Higurashi? You know, the previous season just aired on the winter season, and I don't really care what anyone says. I've heard some people saying, oh, it's the same formula again and whatnot. No, you were wrong. The story is finally taking a definitive direction and actually straying away from the original route of ending in the same murders. And actually, you know, we can witness a bit more about the origins of the curse. And now, with Satoko having the same abilities as Rika and going back in time, the story is definitely becoming more interesting. Plus the animation is amazing and creepy at the same time. I mean, you can see Satoko with those red eyes staring into your soul. I mean, man, I would fucking shit my pants if I had someone looking at me like that. Jumping to one of my guilty pleasure manga stories, Kanojo mo Kanojo. Why? Because it is one of the trashiest rom-com stories out there. And yes, I love it. Naoya Mukai, the male protagonist of this story, has the opportunity to be in a romantic relationship with his childhood friend Saki. That's a weird name every time I read it. But anyways, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the ultimate wet romance dream of any dude. Dating his childhood friend that then becomes a beauty. Things go smoothly between these two until, you know, this high school girl by the name of Nagisa Minase confesses her feelings to our dear male protagonist. And like in most stories, our main character would probably step up and simply reject this second girl, since he's dating his childhood friend, right? Well, no, this is anime. And what does he decide to do, you may ask? Well, he 2 times both our female characters. God, I'm actually proud of him. I'm just kidding, okay? Don't take it seriously. What's worse, Saki would simply reject this idea, you know, because it is an absurd one, but in the end, and don't forget, this is anime, she falls submissive to the idea, and it ends up with a 3-way relationship, because, well, this is anime. Such an interesting story. I can't wait to see the anime adaptation, honestly. Remake Our Life is labeled as a comedy anime, but it is interesting to know that it revolves around time traveling. One of the main characters, Hashiba Kyoya, is a game developer of a company that goes bankrupt. As he loses his job, he then decides to go back to his hometown and rethink his life. As he lies in bed, one day he wakes up and realizes he has traveled 10 years in the past, just before ending his high school. We have yet again a case of someone that basically has a second shot in his life and has the opportunity to make the right decisions. Of course, he meets a bunch of his friends in college and they gather in order to create something together. And I bet someone will eventually say that they don't like the idea of having a 20-year-old dude behaving like an 18-year-old teenager. Look, before you even try to make any assumptions, this isn't jobless reincarnation, okay? He's not a minor, even if he has sexual relationships with someone, so take a chill pill, okay? Thank you. Jahisama won't be discouraged. The great Jahi will not be defeated. Oh look, another half-naked loli in the cover. Jahi, one of the greatest authorities and one of the Demon King's right hand, loses all of her powers after the destruction of the Demon Realm. Not only she loses her magical abilities, but she also finds herself in the human world with a human form, more specifically in a childlike form. She needs to gather mystic gems in order to restore the Demon Realm and her former appearance. But to do so, she will need to adapt to a normal human lifestyle, like having a job, paying her own rent, and have human problems. I am so interested to see this anime as it reminds me of the devil as a part-timer, and obviously remembering back all the funny moments we had on that show, Jahisama is looking really promising as we may have a lot of comedy in our hands. Plus we have a lolly demon girl in the cover, okay, and even other interesting characters with interesting appearances. Aquatope of White Sand is the latest PA Works original. Kukuru is a 18-year-old girl that works in this wonderful aquarium. She meets a former idol by the name of Fuka that for unknown reasons has lost her place in Tokyo. Fuka and Kukuru will be spending a lot of time in this aquarium that unfortunately is at the verge of closing indefinitely as a new friendship will unfold. This story screams drama and has honestly great potential to be a successful story. Not to mention the setting is quite interesting considering everything being focused on this aquarium and the life of working in a aquarium, which for me gives signals of wholesomeness. By the way, did I mention how gorgeous the anime looks in general? I mean, look at this. This is PA Works for you. Watching good girls feeding animals while having a great story. I mean, I can't wait for this one, honestly. Next we have our seasonal dose of your typical isekai once again, this time with a unique premise. The main character is reincarnated into another world with special powers and lives this new fantasy life surrounded by chicks because this is a harem show. On top of that, he's rich, powerful in this new life of his. How freaking interesting. Next. I said next. We were lately blessed with Combats Will Be Dispatched, as it is one of the creations of Natsume Akatsuki, you know, the same writer of Konosuba, and this next anime gives me vibes of that. Kinji simply hates work in his current life. And what happens to him? Well, he's obviously transported to another world, a world of fantasy and wonder where he would be living his dream world and be recognized as the hero that saves the world. Except that the reality hits him hard as he is put in the harsh life of labor. Despite living in a fantasy world, is condemned to a life of harsh labor. Yeah, that's it. Our main character is stuck in this mining business so that he can learn the meaning of hard work. Gee, someone mustn't like this guy that had to set such a curse upon him. The reason why I say this anime really resembles the story of Konosuba is simply because there are so many comedy moments between the main cast and a lot of satire jokes related to work. And having such a premise where the fantasy world is ridiculed through our main character's worst nightmare, which is work, it does give off that sense of satirical anime. The way the characters' different expressions were designed, with wacky drawings whenever a funny scene comes around, it does enhance the comedy aspect even more. The premise itself is wacky and yet interesting to see how it will probably be caricaturized, which is something I'm really looking forward to. Next up we have we have this. Mother of the Goddess Dormitory is one of those ecchi anime that me, you, your family, your neighbor, and his cat and your dog won't probably miss. Why? I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea whatsoever. Nope, I don't know. This is one of those stories where it's best to simply watch the anime version instead of reading the manga simply because the story is boring as hell. But you have the lewd scenes to fill your heart of pure joy. Except that now we're dealing with a 12-year-old main character that is surrounded by older women. I don't like this. He's too young, man. He's still too young. But damn, I'll still be watching. If all of these anime shows didn't really catch your attention, maybe the list of movies we have this season probably will. I mean, we've got a new My Hero Academia, yay! We got a new Fate movie, yay! We got a new Nanatsu no Taizai, never mind that. We got a new Gundam movie, amazing. We got one of the most wholesome stories of this season, Shika no U. You should totally read that manga, it's fucking amazing. And other interesting stuff like Bell, which has proven to have one of the best visual presentations I have seen in a long while as a movie format. So yeah, this season is packed with diverse stuff, if you exclude isekai of course, and obviously a lot of movies from famous franchises for us to enjoy. Well, And that'll be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I would like to apologize for uploading this late. I've been extremely busy, yeah, but I think you already know that, and I am sorry for being a week late. So yeah, but most importantly, don't forget to watch your daily dose of anime because it's good for your brain and heart. Take care, and I'll see all my beloved weeps in the next video.